be privacy. That is hopefully our expertise. So we work with you. I mean, I know very little in your field. I want to learn from you, and hopefully you can learn from us. So we did this paper, and then next we did, I think, our best paper thus far, until the next one we do with San Diego Gas and Electric. This one was done with Hydro One, GE, IBM, and Telvent. And we always partner with people in the field because you're the ones who know how to do this. You have to do this. We want to make sure that we can, and that's what we did in this paper, operationalize. What do we mean by privacy by design? How do you translate those into rules that can be embedded in code, for example, in terms of the business that you do? And that's what we attempted to do here, and I think quite successfully so. The paper that we do with San Diego Gas and Electric and the program that they develop on their dynamic pricing will be very down to earth. It'll be concrete. It will form a game plan for how can others do it in other jurisdictions, and we're honored to work with them. Let's talk about eMeter. Now, I don't need to tell you what you know about eMeter. It's one of the leading advanced metering infrastructures platforms in the world. But you know, and of course, Energy IP is the trade name. I was surprised though that, and I'm just learning about the uptake of eMeter, and I was surprised that, because in my jurisdiction, Toronto Hydro has it, the IESO has it, and a variety of others, but that the uptake in the US has not been as high as perhaps expected. Sometimes I always say you have to leave, in terms of what you offer, you have to leave home and have a big success elsewhere and then come back, and then it'll be recognized. But when I was talking to Gary Bloom this morning, I said, I'm going to make a pitch at the conference, and he wanted to come, but it just wasn't possible. He was in the midst of some teleconference. And what I said was, what I think you should do relates to your Energy Engage program. And this is what I want you to consider doing. My understanding is that eMeter's customer portal application, Energy Engage, is very privacy protective, and it enables customers to control whether they receive emails, text messages, and other things, and that you do this on an opt-in manner. Let me translate. Opt-in, if you need a shorthand, equals privacy by default. Because what that means is if people don't opt in, consciously say we want to do this with our data, the existing automatic default is no one touches that information. It's protected. So this is very positive. The more I was reading about this, the more I thought eMeter should brand PBD with Energy Engage. This would be an ideal application to have a co-branding where privacy by design is merged with this. And we can talk about this later, but it would be a wonderful application. And it would give you a competitive advantage, especially if you go to Europe, not just exclusively in Europe. In the US, of course, the FTC is all over privacy by design. But in Europe, this is something that will open doors for you because it's immediately identifiable. Everybody knows what PBD is. The Europeans, the Germans, are all behind privacy by design, international standard now. So consider a branding where you can say not only do we protect privacy, but we protect privacy by design. It's embedded in our systems. I think it could give you a competitive advantage and a real plus. So ladies and gentlemen, let me end by just repeating a few of my messages with respect to considering privacy by design in the work that you do in your field, in the applications, where the information is touching a personally identifiable individual. Again, if there is no linkage, data linkage, to an actual individual, you do not have to be concerned about the privacy interest, because in aggregate, in anonymized form, you can engage in data analytics as you see fit. It is where the data linkage takes place that you have an additional duty of care. I want you to abandon the dated zero-sum model way of thinking and consider positive sum, which is just and. You do both. It's a doubly enabling system. It results in great wins, and it eliminates the versus and those heavy decisions involved. And should I do this or this? You can do both. It's a doubly enabling system. And ultimately, I think if you embed privacy by design into the work that you do at e-meter and other smart meter applications, I think this will create such a different vision of the future. Because if you embed it as a core functionality, and this is the ideal time, privacy by design works best when it's embedded into systems at the nascent stages, when a new technology or system is emerging. We have a new extension of privacy by design, which we just released last week, called privacy by redesign, PBRD. Because as you know, there are many legacy and existing systems that are already operating and underway. So we're now developing the analytics of how do you redesign and embed privacy by redesign. But I think in your field, it's nascent enough that you can consider privacy by design, embedding it as a core functionality into the architecture of what you do, and therefore giving you the protections you need and the additional advantage that you can take, especially to Europeans, but not exclusively, that you are very respectful of your customers and their privacy, and you've gone a long way to ensure that this is embedded into your architecture. It's a win-win, and my goal is to ensure that your interests prevail, as do those of your customers. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And Chris, do I have time for questions? Yes, I'd be happy to take questions. If there are any questions, I would be delighted. We have a few minutes for questions.
Hello, my name is Monika Sturm. I'm from Siemens in Europe. I liked your presentation, but I still have a lot of question marks. So I would really like to understand what is the core functionality you're offering, what is the portfolio you're offering. We learned a lot about the people you have met and who you talk to, but I really would like to better understand what are your offerings. Can you give me a little bit a short summary about that?
So if you go to our website, privacybydesign, all one word, .ca, you'll get more information. The essence of privacy by design is it's a methodology, if you will. It's a way to protect privacy, in this case your customer's privacy, in whatever you do. So whatever functionality. We do this in the area of biometrics. We do this in the area of video surveillance cameras. You pick an area. If it touches personally identifiable information, then you as the organization or business collecting that data, you have a duty of care to do a number of things. The number of things are reflected in a time series called Fair Information Practices.